好，各位同學大家好啊。OK， today is the 18th of September, year 2020. Last time we had talked about the experiment proving laws of refraction. There are two statements. The first one tells us that the incident ray, the normal, and the refracted ray all lies on the same plane. And secondly, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of refraction. Okay, we call this the laws of refraction because we believe that the laws will hold anywhere in the universe. Okay, it means that if we put a reflecting surface onto the moon, say for example, if we direct a light beam to the moon and it will be refract back to the earth according to the laws of refraction, so on and so forth. And with the this idea, we define two kinds of refraction in our daily life. Okay, first one, diffuse refraction. It means that for any surface not smooth enough, okay, from the light rays point of view, okay, the light ray will be refract, parallel light ray will be refract in different direction, and it means that an object to be observed is like this. Some light ray fall on the surface and then it direct in all directions, refract in all directions, okay? And some of the light ray enter my eyes so that I can see, I can observe, okay, this object. And some of the light ray rebounds, okay, from the surface and enter this camera, and so that you can observe this object. All right. So an object held in my hand can actually to be observed by, if you are in a classroom, by all the students in one classroom, right? And because light rays are traveling, are refracting, being refracted in all directions. Okay. Likewise, okay. The other refraction is called regular refraction, where when we see our image through a mirror, okay, because the surface of the mirror is very smooth from the light rays point of view, so regular parallel light ray will be refound parallelly, and with that we form a clear and sharp image. Okay, so on page 6 of your notes, right? On page 6 of your notes, right here. Okay, there are two blanks to be filled in. Okay, let's go through this. The properties of emergent ray from two perpendicular plane mirrors. Okay, we are going to do example for this particular situation. Before that, one student is still coming in. All right. Before that, we put down the conclusion first. So it is to do it this way, to put down the conclusion first, help you to do your revision more efficiently. All right. So the conclusion is this: we have two mirrors, and they are at right angle to each other. Okay, it means that they are perpendicular to each other. Then the light ray passing in will have definite certain properties. We will prove this later with the laws of refraction. Okay. However, the conclusion is this: statement 1, the incident ray and the emergent ray are parallel to each other. Okay, they are parallel. We will prove this point later. Okay. Okay, shortly. Okay. And secondly, scientific usage. We can use this to do some scientific research. Okay. For example, just for example, measuring the distance of the moon from the earth. Okay, measuring the distance from the moon on the earth. Or more practical speaking, in our daily life, we will use these techniques to do surveying. Surveying. For example, you may see some workmen, okay, some technicians holding some device like this. Pointing at some marks on the floor. Okay, what they are doing is to do surveying. They have some partner far away and sending light ray, for example, and some other form of techniques to measure certain distance. Okay, this is called surveying. And so it also means that if you would like to be a surveyor, you better study physics. Okay. Okay, now I need a ruler first. Okay. All right, let's do example 2, where I'll draw the diagram first, all right? Diagram is something like this. The angle is 30 degrees, right? Okay, now we have 2 mirrors. They are placed perpendicular to each other at right angle. And we have an incident light ray, this one, which is making an angle to the mirror by 30 degrees. Okay, now you are asked to find, to draw the ray diagram, and to find A, what is the angle of refraction after reflecting on M2? And B, what is the relationship between the incident ray and the emergent ray? We will solve them step by step, right? So first of all, we will use laws of refraction, the second statement, where incident ray angle of incidence is equal to angle of refraction, right? So first of all, what is the angle of incidence of the light ray at mirror 1, the first mirror, at this point? I'll call this a point P, for example. Okay, what should we do? we will follow the definition of angle of incidence, whereas we need to draw a line starting from the point of contact of the light ray to the mirror. The point where the light ray strikes the mirror is point P. And at that point, we draw a normal, okay, normal at that point, which means that I'll call this N1, which is the normal to mirror 1 at point P, okay? And by drawing the normal, we can define and find out angle of incidence now, which is not 30 degrees, but this angle. The angle of incidence is defined as the angle between the incident ray and the normal. Okay, so this is I, and this should be $60, right? Because normal is perpendicular to, it's a line drawing perpendicular to mirror 1. So this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees. And if this is 30, this would be 60. Okay? And then the light ray will be refracted according to laws of refraction, where we have I1 equals to R1, right? And we measure R1 like this. Right? So I will propose or suggest you to buy a protractor, okay, for drawing correct ray diagrams like this. Okay, in these cases, protractor 即係量角器啊，有量角器咧容易畫嗰個 angle 啊，畫得準啲嚇。OK。This is the refracted ray of M1. And so this light ray is also the incident ray of M2. Okay? It means that from the point of view of mirror 1 is the refracted ray, but from the point of view of mirror 2 is the incident ray. And while I'm solving the example here, you need to draw the ray diagram accordingly and write down all these lines on your own learning package. Okay, you are required to do so and required to hand in your learning package when you come back to school and have normal school days, right? Okay, so this is point of contact 2, I call it Q. At point of contact on mirror 2, we will draw another normal, okay? Because according to laws of refraction, we need to draw normal to find out the angle of incidence. We have to do this. And I'm going to call this normal N2 because it is to mirror 2, right? And so now we are going to find the angle of incidence onto M2, where the definition is the angle here between the incident ray and this normal to incident ray to M2 to normal, and I'll call this I2. All right. So what will be I2? I2. So you need to make use of your knowledge in mathematics now, okay? Because M1 is perpendicular to mirror 1, right? And M2, normal 2 is perpendicular to M2, right? And this is the right angle, so that we have drawn a rectangle here, and so this angle should be 90 degrees. And so as this one, also 90 degrees, okay? So we know that R1 is equal to I1, and so R1 is equal to I1 equal to 60 degrees. And then in this right angle triangle, this right angle triangle, we know that R1 plus I2 is equal to 90 degrees, right? So in this right angle triangle, P, this one Q, this right angle triangle, we know that this angle R1 plus I2 should be equal to 90 degrees, right? If you don't know what I'm saying, what I'm talking about, why this angle, but this is 90 degrees, then you need to do intensive revision about your mathematical knowledge, what you have learned so far in Form 1 as well as Form 2. Do some revision intensively to retain or regain that knowledge. Okay, you need them for your mathematics exams, so and so forth, and so as for physics. All right. So very easy. This is 60 plus I2 equals 90 degrees, and it means I2 is 30 degrees, right? And now this is 30 degrees. And then applying laws of refraction. Okay, the angle of refraction here, I call it R2 for the second light ray. Okay, for this second light ray, refracting from the surface of mirror 2. Okay, and it's not difficult to tell because it's just follow the laws of refraction. That R2 should be equal to I2. This is according to laws of refraction and should be equal to 30 degrees. Okay, and so for part A, you are asked to find what is the angle of refraction after refracting on M2. The answer is this one. Okay, problem solved, part A, right? And now part 2, part B. What is the relationship between the incident ray and the emergent ray? This is incident. This is the refracted ray from M2, from this mirror, and this is emergent out of this system. Okay. Okay, the system consists of two mirrors, okay, at right angle to each other, and we put an incoming ray, and after two refraction, this is the emergent ray. And what is the relationship between this one and this one? Okay. So for part B, we will add up this angle I1, R1, I2, R2 to see what is the sum of these four angles. Okay, what is the summation of these four angles? Okay, I1 60, I2 60, I2 30, R2 30. Right? And the result is 180 degrees. Then we have this angle plus this angle, which are equal to 180 degrees. Okay? So that proves mathematically, you have learned this in Form 1, right? 呢個係中一學啦，係咪啊，同學？係咪中一學㗎？啊 ，OK 有3條線啦，係咪？呢條線就產生呢兩個角啦，呢兩個角加埋180度，證明呢條線咧同呢條線咧就係平衡啦。咁呢個係一個好簡單嘅平衡線 parallel straight 嘅數學關係啦，係咪？大家中一就學咗㗎嘛，係咪啊？咁同學你會發覺咧，你學咗啲數學咧，就 extensively 咁咧就用喺 physics 嗰度嘅，咁所以咧好簡單嘅啫。你中唔中意？你有冇能力讀 physics 咧？就唔使睇 physics 㗎，你睇你數學就得㗎啦。因為數學好輕鬆咁樣攞到高分咧，你係適合讀 physics 咯。如果你數學咧就完全唔合格嘅話咧，咁你唔使諗讀 physics。即係連呢啲都唔記得嘅話咧，你咩都唔需要做啊。咁你坐喺度嘅啫嚇。得唔得？好啦，咁呢個咧就係180度。OK， 咁所以咧呢個 incident ray 咧。OK， 呢個係我哋結論。One point about the difference between physics and mathematics is this: when you write down this conclusion in mathematics, you need to provide the theories behind. It's just like it's called the corresponding angles, right? For proving two lines are parallel to each other. However, in physics, we only apply them. You don't need to provide the name of the theories. You don't need to provide the name of mathematical theories used. We just use them. Okay? Because we are testing you the concept of physics, but not maths. We use maths, but don't need to provide the name of the theories behind. All right? So that's the first example. Any questions so far? Right. No sound from class 3A. Nobody answered my questions. That will be all right from my point of view, because I'm a science student. I'm not a art student or a language student. You don't need to talk much, but please follow. All right. Okay. One application we have talked about to measure the distance from the of the moon from the Earth. How could we do so? Actually, in year 1969 to 1971 something. Okay. I'm not sure about this. 咁咧就有好多個美國人咧就係登陸月球啦嚇，1969年嗰個人就叫 Armstrong 啦咁講咗一句好重要嘅説話都好有哲理嘅説話啦。佢話我嘅一小步咧就人類嘅一大步，佢踏足喺月球嗰一步嘅時候 ，OK 咁咧喺呢度有好多個 mission 嘅，其中一個 mission 咧佢就擺咗一個咁樣嘅 structure 咧就喺月球嘅表面。擺喺嗰個佢嗰啲Apollo 嗰啲太空船啦Apollo spaceship 咧擺喺嗰度，嗰時有個小型嘅太空站嘅喺地球月球表面上面咁擺咗一個咁樣嘅兩塊鏡嘅一個咁嘅 structure 喺上面。咁當然咧就大過我哋黑板呢一個啦，係咪？但係因為好遠啊嘛，喺地球望佢咧其實都好細好細好細。好啦，咁嗰啲人咧喺地球上面咧，每一年咧都有人咧係做呢件事嘅。咁咧佢咧就係send 一個信號咁 咁就去嗰個月球表面去揾翻呢一個咁樣嘅鏡 ，OK 個鏡咧收到個信號咧就會咧反射翻嗰個信號翻嚟地球嗰度 ，OK 咁咧佢通過嗰個放出去嘅信號假設呢個咧就係地球啦，呢度放出去一個月球，佢有個咁樣嘅鏡，咁樣打橫咁翻轉頭啦，係咪？因為佢平衡噶嘛，個 parallel light ray， 咁所以佢可以收得翻啊嘛，係咪？OK， 咁佢咧就知道嗰個光速啦，係咪？呢個 S 啦，係咪？一來一回咧就 S 啦，一來一回咧就 2S 就等於 C 乘個 T 啊。咁佢咧就度一度咧，佢放出嘅信號同收翻嘅信號經歷嘅時間 T。好啦，咁呢個咧就係地球同月球之間2倍時間，咁乘翻呢個光速啦，3乘10嘅8次方meter per second。OK， 咁咧佢就度到月球同地球之間嗰個距離啦。咁做呢件事咧就好花時間嘅，因為咧就要 locate 嗰個 mirror 嗰個 system 咁淨係 locate 嗰個 system 咧要花幾個鐘嘅因為佢好細嘅其實。但係咧佢哋每年都做到㗎，度到呢一個 distance。好，咁就跟住落嚟咧，我哋其實應該有啲功課俾你做嘅，咁但係咧我哋就我會印咗先啦然後咧就即係大家開咗學之後就盡快做一啲咁樣啦。我依家就唔打算掉上個網俾你做啊，因為咧即係我啲功課就會用嗰個即係一張紙 worksheet 嘅形式咧，咁掉俾你。咁你一放學翻嚟咧，我哋就會快啲咁樣完成嗰啲功課啦因為suppose 你9月即係仲有即係隔多個零禮拜到你就可以翻學啦嘛，係咪？咁所以咧我哋就唔掉上去網度俾你做功課，因為掉上網去做功課，好多同學都仲有好多即係 practical 嘅困難嘅OK 咁我哋咧講咗呢個題目咧，同埋我哋啲淺嘅題目我哋冇講到㗎其實咧嗰個 loss of refraction 咧有好多淺嘅題目我哋都要講嘅，不過我哋咧就冇時間講咁多咁睇下等我哋翻嚟或者考試之前，我哋會講翻啲例題嘅，得唔得？好啦，有同學撳咗呢一個即係咩我 check 嗰度睇下先我睇下同我講咩先。OK，very 有同學咧答問題嘅咁非常之即係好做得好啦，咁我哋咧就講下一個課題先我再講一次，因為咧大家冇翻到學校，咁其實我哋應該會講多啲例題嘅，有啲功課俾你，同埋有啲咧 class worksheet 即係 send 俾你嘅。咁但係咧就我哋咧就講咗下面個課題先，咁等大家翻嚟咧 resume normal lesson 嘅時候咧，我哋可以做翻啲嘢咁好咁所以咧我哋跟翻個筆記喺度教先咁跟住咧下一個課題咧就係講其實我哋跟住咧由依家開始咧講嘅所有嘢咧都係根據嗰個 laws of refraction 同埋第2個 point 嘅咁我點樣可以咧再解釋你日常生活見到嘅嗰啲現象嘅。咁跟住想解釋嘅現象咧就係 mirror image， 即係你照鏡。OK， 你照鏡嘅時候點解你睇到自己嘅樣咧咁樣咁第一個理論咧就係佢照鏡嘅時候咧嗰個 refraction 咧就係regular refraction 嚟嘅咁咧嗰啲光咧就係即係好整整齊齊咁樣反射嘅，只會反射一個方向嘅咁咧我哋就唔會睇到一啲嗰個面咧有啲散亂嘅光亂咁射。譬如咧呢個黑板咧係 diffuse refraction， 所以有啲散亂嘅光我就見唔到自己嘅樣但係如果呢個係一個 plane mirror 咧，我就會見到自己嘅樣，見到自己嘅 image。我哋又解釋下點解會見到自己嘅 image 咧同埋嗰個後面咧我哋需要做嘅處理嘅嗰啲問題 OK 同學，同埋咧，如果你有嘢要表達咧，唔該你開你個咪直接講啦嚇，因為咧我依家咧就同我電腦咧就距離好遠下嘅咁所以咧我哋個黑板咧就會大啲啦，係咪即係如果我喺屋企嗰度上堂咧，我就坐喺張台前面咧，就會個距離近好多咁你咁遠咧，我就比較難咧。同埋我嗰個依家要用嗰個電腦咧，個 mon 就好細嘅，我屋企個 mon 咧好大嘅，咁咧我就好難睇到你即係打嘅嘢咁你即係要行到好埋先睇到啦，咁啊好花時間，我哋唔想花呢啲時間啦，係咪？即係有咩你直接開咪講得㗎啦，唔好怕醜啦，係咪？咁好，咁跟住我哋去呢度開始啦Pink Mirror 呢度呢度開始得唔得？下面呢度我嗰個例題講完啦，咁其實仲有其他例題嘅。如果你喺學校嘅話，我會派啲工作紙咧喺課堂嗰度做不過依家我哋唔做住，我哋即係講呢個先得唔得？咁 OK 好啦，咁我話 image formed by paint mirror， 咁其實另外咧我哋有 practical tool， 即係話我哋有實驗做嘅咁paint mirror 咧 is made from a plain glass 啦 with a thin layer of metal coating on one surface 啦，咁嗰個 metal surface 咧先至係反射面個 coating 咧即係個好薄嘅一個面，好薄嘅面。好薄嘅一浸嘢 coat 上去叫 coating，OK 咁就有 graphical symbol of a plane mirror is shown below 好，呢個咧就係嗰個 reflecting surface， 咁佢咧就係一個 metal 嘅 coating。coat 咧即係外衣大衣就 coat 啦。coating 咧即係話呢度咧一個好薄嘅、好薄 very very thin 嘅一浸 layer of 金屬。OK， 跟住咧呢個面咧就係咁畫。OK，actually 咧 in reality 上面呢一度咧就係 glass。OK。因為咧 glass 咧，我哋嘅工藝咧可以做到嗰個玻璃咧係好平滑，非常非常之平滑。然後我哋喺玻璃嘅後面咧就整一浸金屬嘅薄膜 coat 咗佢上去，咁然後咧就油翻啲 anti-rusting 即係防鏽嘅嗰啲油上去。OK， 所以呢個反射面係喺呢度下面嘅，前面呢個玻璃咧呢度咧都會有少少反射，嗰啲我哋就唔理啦。咁所以我哋講 plane mirror 嘅時候咧，其實係講緊嗰個metal surface 嘅 reflection， 所以咧我哋就唔會畫個 glass 個 glass 咧我哋通常就會唔畫嘅OK 咁樣嘅啫。咁但係你知道咧 in reality 咧 there is a smooth sheets of glass covering the metal reflecting surface， 得唔得呢個就係第一點啦，大家要知道我哋即係唔可以每次都將現實嘅嘢全部都即係好仔細咁畫出嚟，因為太花時間啊嘛，係咪？OK， 好啦，咁咧我哋咧就會做嗰個實驗嘅好啦，咁個實驗咧我哋咧就唔做住啦，因為咧就大家又未返學啦，係咪本來我哋做完實驗咧就用個實驗結果咧就去講嘅好啦，咁我哋依家咧就OK， 好啦，咁我哋而家係跳咗實驗嗰啲結論嗰啲部分先，得唔得？咁咧就會係去到page 9第9頁呢一度第9頁 page 9呢一度 page 9講咗呢一度先，因為之前咧係同個實驗相關，用咗實驗嗰個結論，得唔得？好啦，咁我而家喺黑板即將要講嘅嘢，因為剩翻時間唔好多剩翻分零鐘嘅啫，我淨係講第一個 point 嘅啫一個 point 我希望可以講得完，仲有分半鐘度大家。我哋就話咧，我哋有一個 object 我哋有隻眼睛，就嘗試咧就經過呢個 plane mirror 嗰個 reflecting surface 咧去睇到嗰個 object。咁點睇嘅咧咁樣我哋假設咧，佢就 send a cone of light ray 出嚟點解咁樣做咧如果大家記得我哋咧喺 page 2嗰度就話一個人點樣睇到個 object 咁就係咧個 object 咧 send out a divergent beam of light ray 咁啊 into 個 eyes， 咁佢咪睇到咯，係咪？得唔得？啊，我哋之前講啊，佢點樣睇到嘢啊嘛，即係去illustrate， 就咧呢個人放出好多光啊，其中部分嘅光咧啊進入呢個人嘅眼睛，咁佢咪睇到咯，係咪？得唔得？好啦，咁依家咧一樣咧，我哋用翻個 concept 啦嚇，佢 send 啲光出嚟呢一度，好啦，咁啊點去反射啊？反射根據反射定律咯，啊 ，OK， 呢個 I， 呢個 R 一，咁反射啦，啊，去到呢個 point 咧，呢個 P 啊，呢個 Q 啊，咁啊作 normal two 啦，啊呢個 R2 咁反射啦，係嘛？得唔得？所以呢個人嘅眼睛咧，呢個人嘅眼睛咧。就睇到呢啲反射線咧，佢就以為咧嗰嚿嘢咧，好似喺呢度咧放啲光出嚟，去到佢隻眼睛咁樣啦，得唔得？好啦，唔好意思啊，打。